Hi everyone, it's me, Smirk. We're going to talk about some spells here. We have a specific target for Mystics, and we can talk about that real quick. The main spell I want to talk about today is Fireball, and how to effectively use it. Now, we're going to make just a couple of quick points here. Um, so keep this in mind. Fireballs, you don't want to do like every 2 or 3 ticks you log on, you do a couple fireballs and you move on. No, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is either, if you're the only province doing the fireballs on a specific target, you want to save up your mana and save up your runes, or send your runes to other people so they don't get stolen, and then log on, ask for the runes back, ask for aid, steal runes, and accumulate a whole bunch of runes and mana so you can do a whole bunch of fireballs all at once. Why? One, a province that has way fewer peasants will replenish their peasants much more slowly than a province that has a lot of peasants to begin with. So, for example, if your target has 10,000 peasants, you do a couple of fireballs and you kill 1,000 peasants, that province will get back to 10,000 peasants in just a few ticks, 2 or 3 ticks, and he'll be right back there, especially if he has Love and Peace cast. However, a province that you fireball all the way down to 1,000 peasants, that province will take 10 ticks just to get what the province with 10,000 peasants would get in 1 tick, which means it would take 100 ticks for that province to get all the way back up to 10. It's not exactly 100, but you get what I'm saying. The point is, you want to bring that province way low. So if you're the only province that is assigned to fireball a target, you want to make sure you accumulate mana, accumulate runes, whatever you need, so that you can do a lot of fireballs in one go rather than splitting it up. Or you can team up with other people to fireball one specific target. So if you have 10 different provinces all fireballing one target, then yeah, you can just do a few per province, right? But anyway, so the reason I explained already: one, it takes them a lot longer to recover those peasants, and two, if you just knock down a province from 10,000 to 9,000 peasants, you're not really hurting them. Not just because they replenish those peasants quickly, but 9,000 peasants versus 10,000 peasants is nothing. However, if you knock them down to 1,000 peasants, they're really, really suffering, because peasants are what generates your base income. As you can see here, I'm not making very much income, right? My net change is very small. That's because I don't have that many peasants, and my wages. So they're basically equaling out. Also, I got riots on me, so that decreases my income even further. But imagine if I only had 1,000 peasants, right? So that's like a fifth of my income. So my daily income would drop from 20,000 to about 4,000, and my daily wages would still remain at 20,000, meaning I would be way in debt, right? So this is how to cripple somebody's economy severely. You can potentially force them to drop their wages. Right now, my wages are at 200. You can make them drop it down to like 50% to 100%, which makes their military way weaker. It forces them to spend money paying wages instead of doing things like funding dragons or training troops. And it's a severe way to destroy somebody's economy. Which, if you haven't paid too much attention, economy is typically how you win a lot of wars. Okay, so the main point about that is you want to do fireballs in a big group. You don't want to do 1 or 2 fireballs. Like right now I have 16 mana, right? I don't want to just go and choose my fireball target and just fireball him. 16 mana, that's about 5 fireballs. If I were to do these 5 fireballs, it wouldn't do a whole lot, right? I would kill maybe 500 or 600 peasants on my target at the moment, and that's not that big a deal. Now, if I wait until I've gotten at least 50% mana, and have enough runes to cast all those, in my particular case, I have Void Tap that I'm waiting for, so that's what I would do. But like, if you're an elf, you want to wait for the runes and the mana. And with runes, ask for aid. If you are waiting to recover your mana, send your runes out to people. People with high thievery, high TPA, and then ask for them back whenever you're ready to do your big run of fireballs. Okay? You don't want to sit here, if you have a lot of mana but very few runes, you don't want to just do a couple fireballs. You want to, ask for aid. If you're asking for runes, make sure you're online to receive those runes and utilize them. If you have a spell called Magic Ward on you, you can check by clicking Mystics. You can see all the negative spells on you. If Magic Ward is on you, ideally you wait until it goes away, but sometimes you can't always control that, as the enemy might be very good at keeping that up on you 24/7. But if you're a Mystic, they're gonna try to get that on you, of course, but it's gonna be hard for them to get it on you. So if it's close to, like, if you can wait for it, then wait for it. But if you can't, then you're just gonna have to deal. Steal runes, ask for aid. It's important. Right now, we have a target for our Mystics, which is number 3, and he hasn't been dealt with yet. He has a lot of peasants that we want to get rid of. The problem is he's a Mystic, so we can't just send our typical raiders and heretics to deal with him. Our own Mystics have to deal with him. Now you can see here, Zikin of the Shire, he has 5.3 defensive wizards per acre. Now, yeah, he can cast Magic Shield and that'll make it go a little higher, but chances are he's also casting Mage's Fury to do offensive spells, which makes it go even lower. But regardless, our own Mystics have far better wizards per acre, right? Heavy Metal Fan, 17, Arcadia, 11, Madman, almost 11 as well. All 3 of you guys can land fireballs on this Mystic, and I think Heavy Metal Fan and Madman are charged with doing that. So please do that. That's the way that we're dealing with this province right now. We don't want him sitting on that many peasants. He's a fairy. He has access to a spell called Tree of Gold, which generates income on the spot. And it's heavily based on how many peasants he has. So we really need to knock those peasants down, and we need to keep the spells Meteor Showers, which this one looks like it's ending next tick, and Magic Ward on him at all times. Greed is another good one, and Riots. Looks like we need to add Riots to him. So those are all things that might be my fault. I forgot to do my Riots. So those are all things that, let me see, is it my fault? I think it is my fault. Let me check. PM orders. No, I'm not. No, it looks like Feet, and yeah, it looks like Feet's the one in charge of getting Riots on him. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is the Mystics. So that's Fireballs, right? Now, this intel site is really good. Shady has been really good at updating what ops you need to do on the province, right? So like, for example, this province needs Meteor Showers, Fireballs, and Blizzards. Now, usually it's best to start with the duration ops because you just do them once and they're there. Then you move on to the instant ops like Fireballs. So if you see Meteor Showers as a Mystic, get that first and out of the way. Then move on to your Fireballs, right? Well, looks like they've just been updated. Good job, Shady. So yeah, this is how you check what's there to do. Now, if you see something like this on this province here, right? There is no op to do, but you see this Meteor Showers is going to run out next tick, right? Like it usually will show you how many hours remain. Like this Riots has 2 more ticks left. If there's nothing there, I think that means it'll run out. This is the last tick. So like, see, for example, 13, he has Meteor Showers for 1 additional tick. That means it's on this tick. Next tick it'll still be on, but that's the last tick. So you'll need to update it. If there's nothing there, that means this is the last tick. So you want to update those Meteor Showers. All right. So meteor showers, check here first to see, even if it's not on listed on to do, check if it's running out, because you want to do it. You don't need to wait for Shady to update as a to do op. You want to go ahead and just do it. Same thing goes for Magic Ward. If you have a Magic Ward target, check that. And then move on to your fireballs, right? After you've done your meteor showers, after you've done your magic wards, after you've done all those duration things that you need to do as a mystic, then you move on to your fireballs. Now for the mystics, that's number 3. He needs to be fireballed massively. So, all right, this video was probably a little too long to just explain fireballs. There was a little extra information, but hopefully it will help.